What's up guys and girls, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're all doing well. Today, as you can see, our background is a little bit different for our intro. This is because I didn't have time to do it in Vietnam while I was making the actual action. So I'm doing it in Dubai airport as we're heading back to Greece. So let's jump straight into the jibe. Anyway, this is what we're going to be learning today, the jibe and the non-planing jibe. So it's more of a beginner move, one of the basics, let's say the fundamentals, not necessarily a beginner move. It won't be the first jibe you have probably ever been shown if you had any lessons. But it is a jibe that will help you later on get into the carve jibe and give you a good posture, good direction, good basic techniques for that jibe later on. So it is very important, and it is a jibe that I recommend you start on a big board. It is made for a bit of a flow to your board, but if you want to do it on a sinker, you can do it on a sinker as well, it's not a problem. But basically you can do it on whatever you want, but start on a big board if you can, if you have the chance. It is much easier. So take your time, learn the basics we're going to discuss, and then do it in the water and see how it goes. Yeah, so let's go for it, straight into the jibe and see how it goes.
So to practice the jibe, let's start off on the beach. The first thing we have to check, of course, is the wind direction. For me, it's side onshore, like it always is, and then we're ready to go. Once you're in the water and you're moving, first thing you want to do in preparation is to send your board downwind. You have to be downwind enough to have full power, but still have control over your sail. Once you're heading downwind, it comes time for the next step, which is to spread out your hands down the boom. Once you have a nice grip on your sail, it's time to start actually turning the board around. You do this by leaning your sail forwards and into the wind, all the time maintaining power in the back hand. When you start the turn, you have to remember to keep your weight on the back leg while maintaining pressure on the front. And if you ever get stuck on the turn and you feel like the board's not really turning, you just put the sail more into the wind and increase the power in your sail. Once you have the sail pointing all the way to the other side, so across the wind line, it's time to switch your feet with some fancy footwork. Then switch the sail, grab the power and stay low. And that's how you exit the turn. Now all this sounds pretty simple, but let's look at the key points with a little bit more detail. So first thing first, like we mentioned, you spread out your hands on the boom. So get your backhand further down the boom to give you more control and power over the sail. When you initiate the turn, your sail position should be forwards and into the wind. So you lean the mast across your body into the wind and let the power go to the front of the sail, which would drive you around the turn. While you're doing all this, it is important, like always in windsurfing, to look where you want to go. Not only where you're heading at that moment, but where you want to be in the next few moments. So keep your eyes downwind. Now this turn does generate a lot of power in your sail, so you want to stay low. Not only low, but in order to counter all that power you will be feeling pulling against you from the sail, you have to have the pressure on your front leg and bend your back legs, keeping your weight to the back of the board. By following these tips and maintaining the correct body and sail position, our board will turn downwind. Now, once you're downwind past the wind line and you're pointing already to the other side to which you want to turn, it's time to switch your feet. To do that, you bring your front foot to the back and then switch the back to the front, switch the sail, stay low, and sail out of your turn. The most important thing to focus on is the footwork. If your footwork is correct at this point in the jibe, it will be much easier and smoother to get it around, but it also will help you on your carve jibes in the future. The key factor to a good transition is to keep your weight on the center line of the board. Not only when you're entering the turn, but also while you're switching your feet around. Now, like we mentioned before, there's a lot of power coming out from the sail. So what we want to do is pressure on the front foot and keep our weight on the back foot throughout the turn. The best way to actually switch our feet is to bring the heel of the front foot to the toes of your back foot and then take your back foot back to the front of the board. As you may have noticed, when I do this, I keep my feet as much on the center line as I can. Like we mentioned before, if your weight is on the center line, then your board will be less affected and you will have much more stability throughout your turn. So basically you bring your front heel to your back toes and then the back foot to the front. After you have successfully switched your feet, it's time to learn how to switch the sail easily and get it around nice and smoothly so that you can exit the turn. Now, the main tip I can give you here is before you try to switch the sail, get your front hand all the way up to the mast. This way, when you release the backhand, the wind will flip the sail nice and smoothly and bring it all the way around. Another tip I like to add here is that when you do switch your sail around and the sail's nearly completed its rotation, put it up close to yourself again. This way the sail will not feel heavy when catching it on the other side. Moving on to the water, we're going to try to get our jibes as fast and as smooth as possible using everything we just learned. You should also keep in mind that this jibe is meant for people that are still improving their windsurfing. Therefore, it's supposed to be done on a bigger board. Not that it's not possible to do it on different sizes of boards, but at least for your first tries, you should be out on a big floaty board to get the hang of it. Now, as you can see here, I have my hands spread down the boom and I'm keeping a lot of power in the sail. All the way around the turn, I maintain a nice flow of power. Don't allow the power to shift too much in your sail. Also pay attention to my body position. I'm staying low and I have most of my weight on the back foot as well as pressure on the front, leading the board around the turn. This way I create a counter for all that power in my sail and I maintain my stability as much as possible. So once again, get a wide grip on your boom, lean the sail forwards and into the wind and maintain the power throughout the sail as equal as possible. At the same time, you should be keeping your weight on the back, pressure on the front and staying as low as you can to maintain your stability. Remember to get your board as far around as possible before switching your sail in order to get a nice exit on the turn. Now, like I said before, this turn is better performed on a big board. However, once you got the hang of it, you can do it on any board, including a little sinker like I'm using here. Just remember to keep the power throughout the turn, and most likely, most times, you'll need to keep a hold of the sail and sail out clew first before switching the sail just to maintain your balance. So thanks for watching, guys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped some of you out there. Remember, if you did like the video, drop a like, subscribe for more videos in the future, and let me know in the comments if there's something else you're interested in learning. Now get out there and practice these newfound skills, and I'll see you on the water.